Lawmakers in the United States have just 4 weeks to pass bills to fund the government and avoid a shutdown. But as Congress members return to the Capitol, partisan divides are proving to be an obstacle. Tessa Bennett breaks down the biggest agenda items in Washington.
Lawmakers have returned to the Capitol after a 6-week break and face a number of obstacles and shifting priorities.
There are certain deadlines where things need to get done by a certain point, and even though they were off for the last month or so with the August recess, they knew they were going to come back to Capitol Hill with one big thing dominating the agenda.
And that one big thing is the looming deadline to perform one of its core functions, keeping federal agencies funded to avoid a government shutdown. Deciding on government funding is unlikely to be a straightforward process, and certain Democratic leaders have requested bipartisan talks with President Donald Trump ahead of the September 30th funding deadline. Some of the biggest matters up for debate include the cuts made to Medicaid and rural hospital funding.
That the government runs out of money at the end of September, they know that they have to pass new appropriations bills or face a government shutdown, and that's dominating all the conversations on Capitol Hill right now.
Chairman James Comer is expected to continue his investigation into former President Joe Biden and his alleged cognitive decline. Additional former Biden officials are slated to appear for closed interviews, including his press secretary and chief of staff. Congress is also back in session for the first time since Trump's Alaskan summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Experts say lawmakers are likely to re-engage efforts to improve foreign affairs, including some movement on the Russia sanctions bill, but it's unknown where that item falls on the priority list.
So they can decide to take up whatever bill or piece of legislation or idea at any given time. And this is what members are constantly trying to do, even on the majority side, where they're lobbying their speaker saying, hey, I have a bill that needs to move right now. But in a competing body, you have 435 members on the House side and another 100 on the Senate. They have to agree with each other to get it done. So this is a constant battle that they have.
And perhaps some of the highest priorities for members of Congress include the controversial Epstein files and Trump's federalization of the National Guard.
The Epstein files is a unique case because this is something that the president doesn't want to come out, and he's pressuring not only his leadership on Capitol Hill, but a lot of Republicans members to say, hey, ignore this issue, even though we know that this is obviously important to the public.
Both matters ask for the attention of Congress, and Trump has also announced plans to ask members for more funding to combat crime in Washington, D.C.
They've already granted President Trump a 30-day window to bring in the National Guards within the Washington, D.C. to make use of what are called emergency powers. Then the Congress can either vote to give an extension on those 30 days, which Trump says that he wants, and members of Congress within his own party are willing to provide him.
So far, Congress has passed Trump's spending cuts and his so-called Big Beautiful Bill, leaving people wondering how this fourth quarter might go.